All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the true power with General Seti. You already know we got that fire commentary analysis on what's going on overseas. We keep it 1,000 with you. The Raw's commentary on YouTube. You stay with the General, and man, you're going to get the most raw interpretation of what you're seeing on the television screen. That's right. Get over to my Patreon. I got the fire over 600 videos exclusive only the Patreon. You got to get over there. I got 6 new videos for all newcomers waiting on. As soon as you become at the introductory level, and you already got 50 60 some videos already waiting on you, so you should get over there immediately. U.S. makes Iran tap with just 10% of naval power. Did you hear that? 10% of the naval power, and they done made Iran tap. They don't want no more blockade. There's a blockade out there. And this is the whole world. Now, the blockade ain't just for Iran. The blockade is for the world. Man, listen here. They got them aircraft. You can see that aircraft carrier, right? And the aircraft carrier got 75 to 100 deadly ass fighters on there. F-35s, I don't know what they probably F-35s, F-15, all kind of shit on there. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't just the naval. It's what come up off that motherfucker. And people talking shit. We talk about the United States is waning. Okay, well, show me. Since it's waning, show. I'm just saying. I'm giving you the raw analysis. That's why people come to the General. I give you a raw analysis. I don't sugarcoat shit. It's just me, and I see this motherfucker, and why? I don't just watch news. I've been studying this shit since I was young. Okay, I just want y'all to know this. I didn't just get into this. World politics, social studies, geography. These have been my strong points since I was in elementary school. You see what I'm saying? And my parents would tell you that. These has been strong points long before I even got into Black Power. You see what I'm saying? I was already strong in politics, geography, social studies. Okay, so just know that. And that's why I'm strong today. And so, when you look at these ships pull up, and you in the firepower that they carry, and the technology that they possess. And people's is saying that the United States is waning. Okay, if they waning, show me who can take them. Because really, it's not a navy on earth, and that includes China, that could deal with even coming close. That's a fact. That's a fact. You see what I'm saying? China didn't dip. China don't want no smoke. China can't even get the United States out the South China Sea. You see? And so they about to even amp up and start to rebuild even more ships. They ready to roll some more out. Okay. And the technology is way more advanced. You see, and every time they roll these damn aircraft carriers out, they more advanced. The technology, so they got these scientists underground, and they got damn working to expand the technology of the United States, man. So ain't no motherfucking way you gonna tell me it's waning. Motherfuckers say the dollar is weak. Okay, I tell you what, they didn't jumped on Iran. Okay, who? Russia? People keep talking about BRICS. Russia, tired as Russia. Iran beat up Iran. Venezuela was in it, but I don't know. United States is running Venezuela now. So who else? What economies? What economies? You see, what economies is y'all talking about? You see, there's only one real economy out there, You understand that is in any comparison to the United States, that's China. And they solely dependent on the United States. They solely dependent for their wealth. And we have to understand, we got to quit running China is solely all the success of China is dependent on the United States because the United States is its number one importer, and they very well might be each other's number one importer. So they, China is most definitely because they cannot replace the United States. Okay, they can the economy of the United. You cannot replace them peoples over in Europe is not vibrant enough to even replace the United States. Who you gonna replace them with? Russia, broke ass Russia. Who you gonna replace? Okay, no other nation on the planet is making that kind of money. So China is solely dependent on the United States to stay in the predicament or the position that it's in. That's real talk. You need to understand that. You need to understand that. And so what is done, because everybody talking this shit, China didn't break the one ship, and that just show you how weak motherfuckers is. When you take something and stretch it bigger than what it is, that motherfucker had to turn back around and they sanction that motherfucker. That mean it can't pull up at no port, no fucking where. They got the number, they got it. They're just like if they got a warrant out on your ass, they got your name and and as soon as you pull in, they're gonna pull up your information, they're gonna see your ass is sanctioned. And anybody know that if you because they got the just like the barcodes and shit. If you pulling something up off of that motherfucker, you got to record whatever you pulling up off that ship. So if anybody pull anything up off that ship that came through that fucking blockade, they ass is getting sanctioned. So that motherfucking ship can't do a motherfucking thing. What is y'all talking about? That just show you how weak you is when you take some shit like that and stretch it and you not understanding. You understand what this really is, what that little one ship is. But the reality is China, India, you ain't even heard a peep out of India because India didn't learn. They gonna sit back and see what China do. They ain't gonna say shit. India over there, but they sneak dissing. India be over there sneak dissing. I watch they news and they sneak diss the United States. That's all they do. So they underlining haters because again, United States said they'll crush their ass. They'll put sanction on their ass. Uh 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 went on off what's his name? Mahdi, whatever his name. And and he went off on his ass because he's over there buying all that Russian, and supporting Ukraine. He said he gonna do what he want to do. Okay, we got something for your motherfucking ass too. We got something for your ass too. We gonna cut that curry off over there, motherfucker. We don't want none of that shit. They'll get cut off too. You understand what I'm saying? You will get cut off too. They got everybody little, they done studied everybody's economy and they know how to go in there and dissect that motherfucker, pull it apart, and you understand, have your ass over there hurting. They already know about China. They know China is energy deficient and they food deficient. If they can't grow enough food to feed their people and they oil and gas poor. So they know that majority of all their oil and gas is imported. So if they want to cut their ass off, that's why they was building that Silk Road because they knew that the United States was more dominant on the fucking water. And they knew that it just what United States did, cut that damn Hormuz off. They know they gonna they gonna need another plan B to get that oil. So that's why they was trying to but see that's causing them to beef with India and shit because a lot of that they need some of that land up there in some of that disputed area with India to have them pipes coming through there. And so that's what it is. And so that's where United States, tend to want to support India because to be, but you can't you cannot trust India. That's just a fact. You cannot trust them. Period. They are not to be trusted. They want to be on top. See, I know India. They want to be on top. So they gonna play everybody. They gonna go and I like the, when when Marty, when he go into other, when he invite people, he always got this brotherly hug and man, that motherfucker just as vicious. Don't even fall for that shit. That man vicious. He with Russia and then he with China. Then he with the and he with the United States. Then he with, they all over the place, man. So you can't trust them at all. You don't, you say, you can't trust them. To me, they with Russia, you know, they with Russia. They would ride with Russia. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll leave that there. They buy a lot of shit from Russia, and so that's why you have to think about Kamala Harris getting in the office. You see what I'm saying? Because she gonna have some emotional and racial connection to India. You don't know how this shit gonna lay down. We need some motherfuckers that's 100% from the soil. All this in between ass motherfuckers getting in power. We need motherfuckers straight up from the soil. Ain't got no mixed loyalties or nothing. You see what I'm saying? But the sum it all up is that the United States makes Iran tap with just 10% of naval power. God damn, man, that just show you. And nobody could even fuck with that. Couldn't even fuck with 10%. Man, y'all better wake up out there, family. I appreciate y'all being here. Get over to Patreon. We got one more for the night. Roll with the general. Man, we doing it tonight. We doing it. We're gonna wake up tomorrow and we're gonna have the rawest commentary on fucking YouTube about this. It ain't no fluff or nothing. We're gonna give it to you just like it's supposed to be given. This is General Seti. Click the link in the chat and I'll be right back for the last video. Yeah. Yeah, we be back one last time this evening. You say, what if they had 20% over there? That'd be too much. They wasting gas. They don't even need that much. They really probably don't even need 10%. But anyway, we be right back. Black Power.